It's time now for The Drive on ESPN Blacksburg, AM 1430, 810, FM 94.1, and live on the web at espnblacksburg.com.
It's The Drive on ESPN Blacksburg, and a good evening to all of you. My name is Paul Van Wagoner. KG out for another day. So if you want to get a hold of us, best way to do it is via Twitter at Paul V. Wags. At Paul V. Wags, very simple. We will read your tweets on the air. The other place where we read tweets from all the time is the VT Zone. That's where we get all of our information for the show. And Jason Stamm is joining us from Scouts.com and the VT Zone. How's it going, man?
It's going good, Paul.
Excellent.
It's good to hear you making it, even though you're going solo right now.
Man, I'll tell you what, it's amazing how you get reliant on what somebody else does during the course of your day-to-day operation. And then when that person's not there, it's like, man, I feel like it feels like I'm missing an arm right now. Like I'm doing this thing with one arm.
But at least you're but at least you can you can get by with the one arm.
I can. It's similar to a duck. It looks calm and composed on top of the water, but underneath, man, it's just a mad scramble right now, but we're making it work. I guess I don't know if we would want to call this recruiting, but I think it's kind of big news for Virginia Tech. The addition of another Leday to the roster, and if one is good, two is awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, Seth Leday is, definitely a good addition at this point. And they need some bodies. They've got a couple of spots open. So, obviously looking about 99% like he's not going to be able to play this year. But
okay.
Getting him on the roster, being able to, he'll still be able to practice and doing everything with the team outside of playing in games. So he should be pretty acclimated by the time he's able to play next season. So, kind of a swing guy, kind of a three on the floor. Not a huge guy. Probably needs to put on some weight. But, he's a Leday brother.
Yeah.
So you got to think at least he's got his brother riding him and going to be pushing him to be the best he can be out there in practice every day. So that's always a good sign.
Well, and interestingly enough, I mean, if you were to go back to when he was a senior in high school, I mean, the kid was only 5'10". He was undersized. I mean, talented, no doubt about that. I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the Leday tree as far as talent is concerned, but at 5'10", kind of overlooked by everybody, goes to JUCO and ends up, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5"? What is he? He's sprouted in the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's a good-sized kid. I think he's more, closer to about 6'6", 6'7". So, again, probably more of a three. He's not a banger like his brother is.
Right.
But, has decent size. Again, I think he needs to put on some weight. He's a little thin. But, gives him another option on the wing. And he's one of those guys that I think, I haven't seen a ton of him, but I think he can be pretty versatile and handle the ball a little bit when he needs to. And we all know how Buzz Williams likes those guys that have some versatility, likes to be able to do multiple things with each player. So having a guy like that, regardless of size, who is versatile, who can fill a couple of different roles for you is always definitely a plus.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Jamal Curry-Elliott, 4-star running back, has an offer from Virginia Tech. He's a 2018 kid, so obviously couple years out for him, but what can you tell us about this young man?
Yeah, the big news with Jamal Curry-Elliott is he actually is just, we found out, I guess last night, that he is transferring to IMG Academy.
Okay.
Which, Khalil Adler came from IMG. A lot of big-time guys go there to finish out. Usually, their junior, senior years, so going to get some very good coaching down there. He's a big-time kid. I mean, this is a kid that's really a very, very fast kid at running back and has a lot of offers right now and a lot of looks. So I think it's only going to help him going down to IMG.
Sure.
But, it definitely – I don't know if it really changes a lot. I mean, I think it puts him more on a national kind of a radar when you go to IMG. So yeah. I got to think, I don't know if that's going to really necessarily help Virginia Tech. I think they were sitting pretty good with him before that. They are going to get him on a visit here in the next about month or so. So, that can help regardless of where of him going to IMG or staying at Hillside or not.
Right.
Hillside being right outside of Durham, Raleigh-Durham area in North Carolina. So they're going to be a little farther away, obviously, proximity-wise, but I still think Virginia Tech's in fairly good position right now.
We, and by we, I kind of mean you more than me, have talked about these schools like IMG, these schools that seem to get these high-end recruits, and they finish out their last couple of years of football. Who are these schools, and why is it that players like Jamal and others show interest and end up going to these types of schools?
Well, I mean, IMG, I think that's a very nationally recognized brand outside of IMG Academy. It's the Academy has really gotten me big in the last, probably 5 or 6 years. But everybody knows IMG is a very large, they broadcast a lot of games. They're a very large communications company. So they've got a lot of money. They've got a lot of resources at their disposal. So they're able to, they've decided they want to they've invested quite a bit into that academy and turned it into not just in football. I mean, basketball, baseball, a lot of sports. It's a huge complex down there. Big enough where, Michigan even earlier this spring, hosted a camp down there for a week. They actually practiced and did, their spring, held a week of their spring practice at IMG. So, it's got a lot of benefits. But, as far as these national programs, we've already seen it in basketball. There's a lot of these boarding schools that these guys go to, even here in state. We've talked about Episcopal a few times up in Alexandria as a school that here, I guess, recently they've gotten a lot of Canadian kids to go to school at. But definitely on the rise. I mean, they definitely are, one of a national team. I mean, they play a national schedule, so that's just kind of been the thing. I mean, these kids want to go where they get the most attention and kind of hands-on learning and hands-on experience. And I think you're going to get a little more instruction, probably better instruction, better guidance, better one-on-one instruction at these kinds of schools as opposed to probably the vast majority of public schools or even just, private schools.
Is it safe to say that kids that come out of the IMG type academies are more college football ready? Is that a safe statement to make?
I think it's kind of assumed that that is the case.
Yeah.
And I think in most instances, yes, but I don't know how much of that is IMG. A lot of these guys are already, some of the best athletes in the country. They go down there to almost kind of polish and really kind of brush up on their talents already. So I don't know if IMG is necessarily producing these kids. They're just kind of fine tuning them and kind of helping them keep on that pace. Maybe you get a little ahead of that pace towards getting to the college level. But like I said, a lot of these kids going into it are already very talented. They're just naturally have very good natural abilities, and IMG is definitely a spot where they can go. There's a lot of great former college coaches and coaches that have been in the business for a number of years who are down there, and again, give these kids a lot more one-on-one attention as opposed to where they would at their whatever school they're coming from. And in this case, Hillside is a very good school in North Carolina. I mean, they're been able to produce a lot of talent through the years. He talked about Chris Francis, who's actually in North Carolina right now, one of the ones who came through Hillside. But they've had a lot of kids in the last, I'd say 10 to 15 years come through Hillside. So, not that he wasn't already a good program, but he's probably going to get even more attention, and you hope be even more ready to be on the college level after, it looks like 2 years, definitely 1 year at IMG.
As I scroll through the Twitter feed of the VT Zone, and you can follow them on Twitter at the VT Zone, I noticed that there's a lot more of the 2018 kids starting to get offers. Are we at that point now where not necessarily coaches are getting off the 2017s, because obviously you got to stay on them through their senior year of high school in order to get them to sign come February, but are we starting to see like these 2018 kids are starting to rise a little bit, and some coaches are starting to take note of these kids for future draft or future recruiting classes?
Yeah, 2018, even 2019. So these are guys that are will be juniors and sophomores.
Yeah,
Virginia Tech has really seems to be getting in very early with these guys. And we've talked about it, I think, on this show before, Paul, but it just seems like it gets earlier and earlier every year.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't know where the point is going to get to, where it's going to be too early. We haven't really gotten there yet. But Virginia Tech has done a very good job with 2018, 2019 guys and getting in there early, being some of the first to offer. Because there's a lot of cases, even in 2017, where I feel like they were probably too late to table, and I think that's kind of got them behind a lot of other schools. I mean, because kids, they don't forget, especially the ones that they're already somewhat interested in. They don't forget when those early schools come in and offer.
Yeah.
And Virginia Tech has been that school a few times. So if they can keep that up, they can be some of those early ones. But even some of these guys are already off in 2018, 2019. They've already gotten multiple offers.
Right.
But they're getting in there early enough where they won't hopefully be forgotten, and they're actually going to have probably a better chance with some of those guys than they do even the 2017 guys that are getting offers now. So it definitely, it's a good time to start getting in on some of those guys, and I think they've done a really good job in identifying some of these really, guys like no-brainers, especially they really need to offer, whether they're in the region, in state. Ashawn Robinson, one that just got offered in state last week. So I think it's good to see them getting in on some of these guys early, and it gives them time to develop and kind of cultivate what they've already started.
I'm looking at one that you guys tweeted out back on, it was May 23rd, so that was 2 days ago. North Carolina defensive end Jonathan Kingsley, he's a 2019 kid. Is there concern that if he peaked, that now what happens if he doesn't get better? I mean, I know that it's kind of a long shot, I mean, especially with young boys like this, because they're going to continue to grow and get bigger and stronger in probably 99% of the cases. But is there ever that concern that, man, what happens if this kid has already reached his maximum potential and the best he is just a really good high school player?
I mean, you always take that chance, and that does happen quite a bit. And it's hard to forecast sometimes. Sometimes you can tell these guys kind of plateau a little bit. They don't seem to really get any better. And that's not to say they're where they are already isn't good enough to play somewhere. But you hope these guys peak and get even better about a couple years in college. I mean, I guess best case, maybe not quite Cam Chancellor level, because I think he probably peaked after he left Virginia Tech. But you hope these guys kind of do, have they have a lot more gas in the tank. But that happens. I mean, these guys, they peak early. They get kind of, whether it's just they get burned out or, physically, they're done developing and they don't get any better and they get passed up. That happens a lot.
Sure.
But I think you still have to take a chance with these kids, and you hope that that's not the case. You have to monitor them and obviously keep tabs on how they do. And if they do kind of trail off, then maybe that's it's time to kind of move on and break ties a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned something a little while ago, and I want to circle back to it, satellite camps. Virginia Tech has scheduled a few of them, a lot of them going to be in-state or in North Carolina, kind of making sure, I think more than anything, that they just solidify where they have the strongholds at this point. Are you seeing the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, in-state was a necessity. They had to be able to have some camps in state, especially being on the other side of the state from the whole population. So, you've got to have camps over in the 757. You've got to have a camp up in Northern Virginia, and they're going to have both of those covered. And obviously, according to our friends Mike Barber and Andy Bitter, they're also going to have camps in Atlanta, New Jersey. So those are two spots that, kind of surprising. The Atlanta one probably more so than New Jersey. I mean, that's kind of a surprise that they're going to be able to get in on that. And obviously the details haven't completely been ironed out yet.
Sure.
But I think, why not? I mean, anytime you can kind of spread the footprint a little bit. New Jersey has become a hotbed for talent, especially here of late. Atlanta, we all know that metro area. And now it even makes probably even more sense because you've got Georgia Tech in your division that you're going to be playing every year. So that's a huge selling point for kids in Georgia that you're going to be playing in front of your family every other year. You're going to be playing Georgia Tech every season. So it makes sense. I think they definitely need to utilize being able to have satellite camps. I know, Whit Babcock has been on record saying he's not a fan of it, but he realizes that's just kind of the landscape right now. You have to, and especially, again, in the situation that Virginia Tech is, kind of being isolated and away from the bigger population of the East Coast. I think you kind of have to go to the kids and make it a lot easier for them to meet you kind of halfway. You have to maybe go a little more than halfway and go to them instead of expecting them to come to you every time.
Well, plus with the camp in Atlanta, I mean, everybody knows Virginia Tech is way better than Georgia Tech, so you might as well go to the better school, right? I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, like I said, Atlanta produces. I mean, that metro area is so huge.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, Atlanta itself is good size, but Metro Atlanta just continues to expand. So, anytime they can get anywhere around there and kind of get a foot in the door there somewhere, I think that's always going to be a good thing.
One more quick question for you before I let you go. Are you hearing anything on the Hokie coaching search for the assistant coaches for basketball? Are we going to see a promotion from within? I'm guessing Buzz must have a short list somewhere that he's working off of. What are you hearing?
Yeah, we actually posted an update yesterday on our Insider for our site subscribers. So anybody who checked that out got a chance to see that we talked to Ace Custis, who, he's probably one of the only former Hokies who's in the coaching business still. He's actually up at Maryland Eastern Shore. He was very interested in the job, but Bud already told him he's kind of moved on another direction, so we crossed him off the list. The popular name's still around there. Well, we've still been updating as we get more info, but Dale Layer seems to be the one who's really gained the most traction, and I think it's a very good possibility. I mean, he and Buzz have kind of intertwined a few times throughout their coaching careers, and obviously Dale Layer was a coach at Liberty up until last season, so lots of connections there in state. I think it makes sense in a lot of ways. Kind of an older coach. I don't know if that's the direction Buzz wants to go, but that is definitely kind of what the momentum seems to be shifting towards right now.
Jason Stamm is joining us. He is part of Scouts.com. You can also follow them on Twitter at the VT Zone. We encourage you to do that. Lots of great information there. Plus, did I see something about free subscription for 1 month? Are you guys nuts? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, free 30 days. No credit card required. Just go to the sign-up page, and we've tweeted it out a ton. But, yeah, free 30 days to check us out, get a peek at what you're missing. And we're very confident that once you check us out, you're not going to want to leave.
I feel like if I sign up, then the show's going to go to a whole nother level, and then I'm going to have to maintain that. So I might have to do that. Jason, man, as always, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and being part of the drive. We do appreciate it. Lots of great information. And, again, follow the VT Zone on Twitter and get signed up. There's lots of great stuff there. Thanks so much, man, for being part of the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Paul.
All right, take care. Jason Stamm, we appreciate his time. Scouts.com, the VT Zone. Again, check him out on Twitter. So much great information. Seriously, when I say that I get my information, I'm not joking. Like, that is an actual true statement. I don't want you all to sign up for it because you're going to be like, wait a minute, I read this. No, it's not quite that bad. It's not like I'm plagiarizing them, but they got a lot of great information. You can check it out. Coming up. Did I miss some stuff? I did. NBA. We still got stuff to talk about. It's next on The Drive.
This is
I heard they have a
ESPN
pool, a
Blacksburg.
clubhouse, and a golf simulator. Did you hear about the fitness center, Fire Pit?
Yeah, and their computer lab. It sure beats the heck out of where I'm living now.
Have you been hearing all of the buzz? You need to do yourself a favor and check out the newest cottage-style community in the area, The Retreat. They have 2 to 5 bedroom units, plus their clubhouse has lots of TVs. There's a pool, a golf simulator, fire pit, sauna, and much more. Call them today to set up a tour. 540-750-4100. The Retreat in Blacksburg.